we go through with the introduction and the issue background of air pollution. Air pollution can be defined as an alteration of air quality that can be characterized by measurement of chemical, biological or physical pollution in the air. Therefore, air pollution means the undesirable presence of impurities or the abnormal rise in the proportion of the constituent of the atmosphere. It can be divided into two categories, which is visible and invisible air pollution. There are several acts that will impose to the air polluter. One of it which is under Section 22 Subsection 1 of the EQA 1974, which is no person unless licensed emit or any waste into the atmosphere in contravention of the acceptable conditions specified under Section 20. Okay, there are several causes of air pollution. Part of it is combustion of fossil fuel, agriculture activity, emission from industry and factory. Okay, I will continue with the issue background of air pollution. Okay, the issue background of air pollution, which is global warming. Okay, on top of that, air pollution is a major contributor to the global warming and climate change. In fact, the abundance of carbon dioxide in the air is one of the causes of greenhouse effect. Okay, normally the presence of greenhouse gases should be beneficial for our Earth because it can absorb the infrared radiation produced by the surface of the Earth. Okay, but the excessive concentration of these gases in the atmosphere is the cause of the recent global warming.
Through the phenomenon of global warming, humans are exposed to various health problems such as skin cancer and cataract. Human skin and eyes are easily exposed to sunlight because of doing daily work. This situation can be evidenced by the death of thousands in France and Italy in 2003 and 2006 as a result of the onslaught of disease executed with extreme hot weather. Next, humans are also prone to lung disease. In some places, temperatures rise too high and cause low pressure areas, cause spark and eventually forest fires. The smoke causes humans to have respiratory disorders such as asthma and causes chronic lung disease. Global warming is having negative impact on human society. Agricultural produce will be affected, which is fertile land becomes barren. It will therefore threaten the world's food supply until causes hunger problem in humans. For example, in African countries, there is a problem of famine because the people in the area lack food. Next, global warming is causing open burning in some high-risk areas. An example of the incident in Australia in January 2020. Forest fires naturally burned almost the entire forest reserve area, involving more than 5,000 koalas have died. Lastly is global climate change, resulting in new weather patterns that remain for a long time. It will cause animals to find new habitats for them to continue living. The distribution of agriculture areas also need to be moved to get the right temperature.
Fires and heat also affecting global warming. A real way to minimize the risk of worsening transboundary air pollution in the region is to deal with the root and the political. Generally, transboundary air pollution defined as generated in one country and impacting in others. For example, his issue between Malaysia and Indonesia, which is ASEAN country. Based on ASEAN vision of a history region by 2020, very much dependent on Indonesia political will to effectively handle the fires internally and assess assistance in a timely manner. During the current of transboundary haze, Indonesia has been reluctant to accept assistance from Malaysia. However, whether this will result in the regional haze will very much depend on prevention efforts by Indonesia. But we must remember that one transboundary haze-free year, even if 2020 is haze-free, does not mean the following years will also be haze-free. Hence, the main sources of air pollution are energy use and transportation, in which international shipping is of growing importance. Transboundary air pollution is a pan-European problem and requiring European solutions. The main causes are emission from transport and energy usage of sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide, volatile organic compounds, and various toxic materials. Global warming or climate change are not only affect health and social but also affect the world economy and politics. Basically, global warming influences economic growth through damage to property and infrastructure. For example, Hurricane Sandy, which flooded much of New York in 2012, are prime example of economic damage. Next, the regional effect. Developing countries are more likely to experience the negative effects of global warming. In addition, parts of Africa and Asia are most at risk. In South Asia, cities such as Kolkata and Mumbai will face increased flooding, warming temperature, and intense cyclones.
The first one is fossil fuels free. By reducing the use of fossil fuels as energy sources, clearly this can be accomplished by using and developing technologies that increase energy efficiency and by jump-starting the transition from fossil fuels to the renewable energy resources. The second one is lessen the impact of car. Car and vehicle create exhaust full of carbon dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, and other pollutants. Driving less by using public transport, biking, or walking helps to reduce air pollution. Also, using cars with increased fuel efficiency or electric cars that do not rely on fossil fuels can reduce the pollution amount. Many cities investing in better, affordable public transportation and developing city plans that include infrastructure for walking, biking, and public transport.
The third one is a prevent crop burning. Prevent crop burning is specific technologies and education can improve outcome for farmer without burning, which is the afflicting win-win situation. Education and support for agriculture extension program in developing countries are key to their success. For example, Poland has largely phased out the practice of burning the stubble left after the wheat harvest. Other than that, government initiatives in Delhi to combat crop burning, a significant source of air pollution, include awareness and capacity building, technology intervention, and subsidies for farmers to purchase straw management machine. In our country, also using the same initiative because there is also have an opening. For example, farmer do opening to replant. Of course, replanting is a very good, but at the same time it causes air pollution. For example, farmer who burn a straw in a paddy fields after the harvest is one of the reasons for air pollution problem. So the initiative taken is an improvement for the use of straw collecting machine. One solution is renewable energy. The first way to prevent climate change is to move away from fossil fuels. There are the alternatives in the renewable energies like solar, wind, biomass, and geothermal. So it can be such alternatives to reduce the air pollution in the world.